Hey everybody, so I'm going to make a quick little video about the conceptual or theory ideas behind object-oriented programming. So with object-oriented programming, we're looking at everything in the programming world as if things are objects, which is how we see the real world. When you walk into a classroom, you see a chair, a desk, a room, a floor. You see lots of different objects, and then we can look at how those objects interact with each other, right? A chair could push into a desk. You might have a drawer in your desk. You might have a projector that projects something. But we have this idea that objects exist, and as humans, we understand that quite conceptually. So when we get to building large projects, having objects can help us sort of organize our code into a more usable format. What you'll find is at your guys' level of object-oriented program, the bulk of what you're doing is considering objects like they're their own data type. Let's say we're going to build a chatbot series or a game series that has a bunch of rubber ducks, right? So we want to have a bunch of ducks in our game, and each duck is going to have its own things, but we know that we're going to have a physical duck object, at least one. So we're going to create an object blueprint for a duck. So we're going to say, okay, if we're going to create a blueprint for a duck, it's going to have a couple things. Okay, a duck might have a name. And we've been programming for a while, so we know that a name is of type string, so we're going to put that in. A duck might have a type, right? Could be a mallard, could be a rubber duck, could be lots of different things. In this case, I'm also going to make type a string, except I'm going to spell string correctly. Okay. A duck might have a should have thought of something that has integers in it. What else could a duck have that has ints? Okay, a duck might have, say, a size. Okay, so let's do int size. Okay, so it has these different parameters that make it up. These are what we would call variables, of course, normally, but in the case of objects, they're also a little bit more. They're considered to be the data about the duck, or data variables, and they're where we can store any information in a duck. Now, each individual duck is going to have a different name. It could have a different type. We might have a couple mallards, but we could also have some other types. And they're going to have different sizes. Again, we can make ducks, multiple ducks of the same size, but most of our ducks are going to have some combination of a different name, type, and size. Okay? We're also going to have things that a duck can do. Things that a duck can do would be considered our functions or methods. So a duck can make a sound. So we might have a make a sound. Could be different sounds. Most likely going to be some version of a quack, but loons don't really make quacks. Okay. A duck can swim. A duck can walk or waddle. Your preference. And a duck can fly. Anything a duck can do, any actions that it can take, so anything an object, any actions that it can take, those are going to be our functions or methods that we're going to see. So these will all be functions, things that it can do. Okay? So if we want to create a duck object, we can easily, now that we have a blueprint, create as many duck objects as we want. We just have to build the blueprint in code. This is the difference between classes and objects. This blueprint, this generic blueprint for a duck, is called a class. Okay, we can make as many ducks as we want, but we only need one blueprint. It's like building a house. With one single plan for building a house, you can build many houses. In that case, again, the blueprint or plan is the class, and the actual houses or the actual ducks, those are your objects. Man, my spelling is atrocious. Okay, so now that you have this idea of classes and objects, how does that work in code? Well, we know how to design a class in code, we just need to learn how to make objects. And often we're going to be making those objects outside of the class. So I'm going to stop this video here, and the next video is going to be me actually writing this same duck class in code and then creating some duck objects.